Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Celtic Way YouTube page, Facebook page, and X page. My name is Ryan McGinley, live from Scotland. I'm delighted to be joined by Tony, who is currently situated live in Munich at the Allianz Arena. Tony, how are you doing this evening?
I'm fine. It's cold. You're probably warmer than me, Ryan. I'll give you that right now. But yeah, what a spectacular arena for football. Absolutely massive arena, massive task facing Celtic tonight. But tell you what, if they're going to create history, this is the night to do it, isn't it?
Absolutely. It is Celtic versus Bayern Munich, or Bayern Munich versus Celtic, live at the Allianz Arena. This is your team news reaction and build up live from Munich. Tony's obviously joining us from Munich. And we'll read out the team for tonight's game. It just released about 5 minutes ago. We get Kasper Schmeichel in goals, a back four of Alistair Johnson, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Austin Trusty, and Jeffrey Schlupp. Callum McGregor starts in the midfield alongside Arne Engels and Rio Hatate. And up front, it's Tyson Maeda through the middle, not on the left. You've got Jota on the left and Nicholas Kuhn on the right. The subs this evening are Sinisalo, Bain, Taylor, Scales, Ida, Yang, McCowan, Nawrowski, Kenny, Murray, Ralston, and Bonner. Tony, how are you feeling about that team?
That's a team we all wanted, isn't it? That tells me that Celtic are trying to stay in this game, but they're also trying to win it. Stay in it as long as they can. And, with the three up front especially, Maeda through the middle, Jota and Kuhn, I think Brendan Rodgers knows that's the three that can cause them bother, as they did in the last 20 minutes last week. And I think every Celtic supporter is delighted with that lineup. It's the one they wanted. Even Schlupp in for Taylor. That was basically it, wasn't it? Those two, Jota and Schlupp coming in, Maeda getting in the middle, and either being rotated. I can't argue with that team, Ryan. I'm happy with that, really happy with that, to be honest.
Yeah, so it was Adam Ida that started through the middle last week, put in a tireless shift, but he was taken off. And I think that the team was more effective when Daizen Maeda was played through the middle. He is a menace when he's pressing the opposition. He did play on the left to begin that game, but it's Jota tonight. Just on Daizen Maeda, Tony, he is going to have to be Celtic's main man. He's going to have to press, do the defending from the front, and really press the Bayern Munich defenders into potentially making mistakes. He's going to be feeding off his scraps tonight, but when he is given the opportunity to run at the opposition, he's got to take it, hasn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. And also, Ryan, I think Brendan Rodgers thinks he might get Joy in behind. You look at the way Jota cuts in from the left and plays in those cross balls, which are impossible to defend against. I think he thinks that Celtic could get joy from that, and Daizen Maeda profited from it when Jota set him up for his headed goal in the last game. So I think that's the kind of thinking behind that. And also, Jota's built for this stage as well. He's a big game player. It floats his boat. But as you say, the work rate that Daizen Maeda, he will lead from the front, and everybody will just feed off that. And Daizen Maeda, what's he got already? 4 Champions League goals. It's the most in a campaign since Joe Craig, I believe, 1977-78. It tells you all you need to know, Ryan. Going back to the days of the old European Cup and old money. So good on him. And I think, as I say, I think the Celtic supporters up and down the country and all over the world will be delighted with that team, Ryan. That's the team we all wanted. That's the team we all want to see. It's a massive stage. The prize is humongous. Go and grab it. Go and seize that opportunity and seize your moment and see what happens. And as Kasper Schmeichel said last night, Celtic are a good team too. Go and show it, go and prove it, and show how much you have progressed and you've learned in this Champions League phase, and also the knockout phase as well.
Yeah, I think the next place to discuss is down that left-hand side, because we've seen these two players start against Dundee United, and I think they've been rewarded by how well the two of them played respectively. You have Jota on the left wing and Jeffrey Schlupp just behind them at left back. The two of them seem to form a bit of a partnership already, and that brief outing that they had, or the first outing that they had together against Dundee United on Saturday just past there. Have they been rewarded for that game, Tony, with showing their know-how by being brought in, or do you think there's more to it with the likes of Jeffrey Schlupp knows Michael Elise as well from his time at Crystal Palace? Do you think that could be a factor tonight?
I think that came into Brendan Rodgers thinking, no question of that, Ryan. I also think as well, Schlupp showed on Saturday that he is a good player, isn't he? He's an experienced individual, and he's also got a bit of presence and a bit of physical strength. which we've lacked sometimes in these games. He won't be bowled over or pushed over, and he can match and go toe to toe physically. And as you say, he's got lots of knowledge of Michael Olise, hasn't he? That suits me, Ryan. I'm delighted that he's came in. We did tout him to come in on Saturday, didn't we? We said we'd be very happy to see him come in to the Allianz Arena, and I think Brendan Rodgers had that game in mind just to see how he did. And he's also got a mean dig on him, Ryan. He can hit from 20, 25 yards, so look out for that as well. He's not scared to have a portrait goal. So, yeah, as I say, I'm really happy with that. That left side's very strong, isn't it? If you're looking at it, in that team lineup. So, go and show it. We're not underestimating the size of the task. This is Bayern Munich. They're formidable, and they're formidable on their own patch. And as I said, and I wrote about in the Herald today, Real Madrid, Liverpool, PSG, Arsenal, and Inter Milan are the only teams that have beat them in a knockout tie in the last 20 years. That's the task facing Celtic. But I tell you what, go and add your name to that list.
Not bad company there. Pardon the pun, I know it's Vincent Kompany that is managing Bayern Munich tonight. I'm just going to read out their team, Tony. This will be in numerical order rather than positional. But you've got Neuer in goals, Upamecano, Kim Min-jae, Kimmich, Gnabry, Goretzka, Kane, Olise, Guerrero, Musiala and Stanisic. Their subs are Sane, Coleman, Dyer, Palhinha, Davies is back on the bench for Bayern Munich, Ito, Sasha Bowie, Vidovic, Müller, Leimer and Pavlovic. So just looking at that team, just looking at it roughly, it looks as if Stanisic is in the midfield. He'll play defensive midfield ahead of maybe Konrad Leimer. I know Goretzka's in there as well. You've got Musiala in the attacking mid position. You've got Kim Min-jae replacing Eric Dyer.
Kim Min-jae's coming back, and
yes, he's back. The former Napoli player, the Scudetto winner.
Mark Fotheringham spoke very highly of him. He said he's the best defender he's seen in the flesh ever. So that,
because he was the assistant manager, or he was helping Jurgen Klinsmann at the last Asia Cup, I believe. He is really highly rated. Yes, he was really good for Napoli, and that Scudetto winning season that earned him that move to Bayern Munich. Didn't have the greatest of seasons last campaign. You would have seen him maybe make a couple of high-profile errors, particularly in the Champions League, but he's one of the first picks for Vincent Kompany, and he seems to have managed to stabilise himself. Stanisic, a young player coming through the system, really good young defensive midfielder for Bayern Munich, so one to keep an eye out on. And obviously the likes of Kane. Kane's been past fit for tonight's game. I think we all thought that he was going to play tonight. You've got Michael Olise, you've got Musiala as well, Kimmich, Gnabry, loads of household names. It's all about Celtic tonight, Tony. You're hoping that they can overturn that 1-goal deficit. Who's going to be the main man tonight if that is going to be the case?
Front three, Ryan, for me, are the main men. The onus is on them. Celtic have to win a football match, but they have to score, and that's as creative and as good as it gets up front for Celtic at this moment in time and at this juncture. Funny that Harry Kane's playing, isn't it? Kasper Schmeichel said 2 words in his press conference. He'll play. End of. And but that's where I think Celtic can get joy. I want them to test Kim Min-jae because he's coming back from injury. And I thought they got a bit of joy out of Upamecano last week as well. I'd have preferred Dyer to be there, but obviously Vincent Kompany's decided that Kim Min-jae will be fine. But you pointed out there is mistakes in him, isn't there? There's errors, lapses in concentration. If they do that, then Celtic have to capitalise this time, not the other way around. And hopefully that front three can help put some pressure on them, Ryan. As you can hear, the Champions League music is cranking up.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you, Tony, about Germany and Munich in particular. How's your experience been so far? Been in and around Munich, one of the biggest cities in Germany, home of the biggest team in Germany, in Bayern Munich. How's it been for you so far in terms of sampling the city?
It's been cracking. Really liked it. Lovely area down the Marienplatz and those streets off that. With lots of Celtic supporters were kind of congregating throughout the day, but. Yeah, it's I can understand why people rate it as one of the best cities in Europe. It's terrific, and it's got a cracking rail system and network. But the Allianz is a bit out the road. You can get trains to it, but Uber is your friend in these circumstances, isn't there? But yeah, I'm really impressed with it, Ryan. I would come back in a heartbeat. I have to say, excellent. Been really nice area and round about the central Munich Central Station where I'm staying. It's a nice area. So yeah, as I say, I would come back, and I can understand why the Scotland supporters really enjoyed it in the summer in Euro 2024. Pity they didn't get the result. Here's hoping Celtic can maybe go one better than that tonight.
Yeah, I'm hoping that lightning doesn't strike twice
Yeah,
in that regard. I
indeed.
don't want anything near the score line that
No.
happened to Scotland in match day one of the whole Euros. You know, everybody was watching. The collective eyes of
Yeah.
Europe were watching that game, and I think Musiala came to life in that game. You're hoping that the same doesn't transpire, especially for the likes of Musiala, Goretzka, Gnabry, etc. There's a real German influence through this team, even on the bench for Bayern Munich with Muller. You've got those in the starting line. You get Manuel Neuer, who Kasper Schmeichel was talking about very, very highly. I think we all speak about Manuel Neuer very highly. He's a trailblazer at the back for Bayern Munich in goals because he's a playmaker as well as a shot stopper. He was one of the first goalkeepers I remember that played the ball out with relative ease to his midfielders and his fellow defenders. But Kasper Schmeichel, I think we'll touch upon him next, Tony. It's a big night for him. He's going to have to pull off a number of good saves if Celtic are to get to where they need to be, which is the next round of the Champions League.
And that, do you know what, Ryan? That'll excite him. He won't mind being busy. He likes that, we've seen him perform brilliantly in the Champions League. I don't think any Celtic supporter or the manager or the players have any doubts about his ability in between the sticks. And he loves Manuel Neuer. He's a huge fan, and he said he's played against him a few times, and he used the word he revolutionised the goalkeeping position, and he did.
Certainly did.
He did. When you were growing up and you used to play five-a-sides, and the nearest man to the goal would go in, and he would be like a bit lost. Manuel Neuer did that in reverse. If he was a goalkeeper, but he decided, I'm going to be an outfield player too, and no end of skill, Ryan. And I know he likes to take risks and stuff, and he's getting older, and you can maybe press him, and Maeda can maybe put some pressure on him and the squeeze on him. But I'm trying to think if there's been a keeper in the past 2 decades that has been better than Manuel Neuer. Not for me.
No, I think he's in definitely the top 10 of greatest goalkeepers of all time when all is said and done. Revolutionised the game. The fact that the likes of Ederson, Alisson, David Raya for Arsenal as well, they all have taken a leaf out of his playbook and really they've morphed their game into replicating what he does for Bayern Munich. So he's definitely a very, very good player. While we talk about some other topics with regard to the game, if everybody could get their predicted lineups into the comment section, I'll try and bring up as many in the remaining 2 or 3 minutes that we've got on the show. Tony, what are you expecting tonight? What's your gut telling you? What's your head and what's your heart telling you?
My head's telling me we'll lose, Ryan. Not heavily, but we'll lose. I think it will be a brave, going down fighting kind of performance. My heart's telling me the exact opposite. It'll be a miracle in Munich. I think I'm realistic enough to know last trip to Germany didn't pan out as we all hoped it would. Here's hoping there's no repeat of that, but we just need to stay in the tie, Ryan, stay in the match for as long as they can, and hope that those front three can produce a moment of magic, a special moment. They'll need to produce 2 moments of magic to get through on the night, won't they? But at least stay in the tie. And they've got 90 minutes to score a goal, Ryan, to get it in level pegging. They don't have to go hell for leather and get this done in 10 minutes. So you have a whole game to score 1 goal to keep you alive, to take it all the way. And, Ryan, these are the nights when you least expected and strange things happen. It's what Celtic are in football for. It's the challenge that Brendan Rodgers has craved, taking this team, progressing this team at this level. It doesn't come any bigger and any better than this, Ryan, but I want to actually see how we go toe-to-toe with them, in a real kind of one-game shoot-off. I just want a performance worthy of the Celtic name, Ryan. And to the victor of spoils, we'll see what happens, but, just stand up and be counted and play the Celtic way if you can, and be as professional as you can, and if the chances come along, take them.
Yep. Well, fingers crossed that these 11 players plus the five, if needed, subs all play a massive part in what would be a famous night for Celtic. We want them to do, we want the team to do us proud tonight. Basically, don't make it a bit of a thumping. Try and stay in it for as long as you can. Hit on the break whenever possible, and go and enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the game. Enjoy playing. This is all what, as Casper Schmeichel said, this is what all those months of sacrifice have led to. Matches like these. But I don't want it to become a bit of like an exhibition game or a game that you can simply just enjoy. I want them to go and try and see if they can throw a spanner in the works, because everybody's wrote the narrative, everybody's wrote their synopsis of the game, of what's going to happen in this game tonight. It's up to Celtic to rip that up and write a new synopsis, write a new plot line tonight. Let's see what they can do. I've got one predicted scoreline from Jackie Dillon, who's always in the comment section. 2-0 to us. Come on, Celtic. You've got to be optimistic. Hail, hail. That's what we try and be on this show, Tony. I think we're trying to be as optimistic as we can. It's one of those ones we'll see how the game progresses, see how the game starts, the middle, and of course the end. Got to play for 90 minutes. Might be longer than 90 minutes. Could be a scenario where you're wanting Celtic to play more than 90 minutes tonight, but stay in the tie. Try and stay in the tie as long as you can, and let's see what can happen. Any final thoughts before we jump off, Tony, and you can go and get ready to enjoy the game?
I think there'll be a moment in this, Ryan, when the dream will be alive and it'll be on. And as I said earlier today, I don't necessarily think it'll end like that, but I think this team are capable of giving us a moment when you think, you know what, this could be possible. And if they do, then it would rank up there with the greatest ever Celtic results in Europe. Dumping Bayern Munich out of Europe in their own backyard. I mean, my goodness, that would be it would be miraculous. As I said before, and I wrote about it this morning, it would be a miracle in Munich. You're looking for the sporting equivalent of that in a Celtic sense. But stranger things have happened, Ryan.
Stranger things have happened. Miracles can happen. They do happen in football. Let's keep everything crossed, fingers and everything else crossed, that happens tonight and it transpires for Brendan Rodgers' team. We will be back as soon as we can at full time. I'm not sure yet who for sure is joining me, whether it's Tony, whether it's John, or the two of them, but we will be live as soon as we can from full time to discuss what's happened at the Allianz Arena. Quick shout out to subscribe to the YouTube channel, completely free of charge. You can also subscribe to the website. We're doing £1 for 6 months at www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. On there you'll get instant analysis, you'll get player ratings from myself and Tony, you'll get the press conference Q&As, so every word said by the manager and the players, that will be available after the game. Thank you to everybody that's joined us on this stream. We've had 65 people. Really do appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully you can join us on the post-match show. Fingers crossed we're talking about a famous Celtic victory in Germany. Tony, you go and enjoy the game. We'll be back as soon as we can after full time. Enjoy the game, guys, and fingers crossed that Celtic get that result we're all hoping for. Cheers, and see you after the game.